All right, we are. That's not to make it drop to the floor.
Yeah, keep going. Maybe I will. I don't know.
Yeah, we are live right now at Made in Ohio for our Week 3 review show. Hopefully they don't have that echo out there.
We're gonna find out.
Oh yeah, we do.
I know what that is.
All right, give us 1 second. We got a little bit of a sound issue. He's gonna turn that echo off for us. And hello. Nope, still there. Sounds like we're in a hallway. Listen, the equipment is really cool and it works. Yeah, like crazy. Hello. That fixed it. Whatever you did, don't push nothing else. All right.
Here we go. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Came back from Chicago, and I think a few buttons on there got picked, but hopefully we'll make things work, make it
100%.
go. Live from beautiful downtown Ashtabula Harbor. I'm Ryan, my partner Sam, coming to you, going over a lot of stuff tonight. Sam's got all kinds of stuff on deck.
Man, we have an absolutely jam-packed show. We've got a lot of great games we're going to cover tonight. We had a big weekend in Chicago. Last week, we got to cover one of the most impressive offenses I've ever seen since we've started covering this high school football. That's going to bring in here in just a few minutes. We're going to bring in the Week 3 Player of the Week, Grant Hitchcock, who is a 2-time winner. He's getting 2 T-shirts as back-to-back years. He has weeks that are just phenomenal and stand him out from the crowd. But before we do all that, Ryan, I guess I'm going to take your spot here. How was your weekend?
Oh, man, it was a long weekend, but a fun weekend. We got to kick it with YSN down at in Chi-Town, so not down, out west a little bit there.
That's right.
Next to, went and visited Navy Pier, even stopped and seen Touchdown Jesus over at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. I did get to spend the entire weekend with my partner over here. And I had to hear about a sandwich, and I didn't
Portillo's. Don't you disrespect that sandwich.
Listen, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't that great, but it is what it is. A lot of fun either way, though. We got to hang out with the YSN crew, DJ Quinn and
Richie and DJ.
Richie, Quinn, DJ. I should know that, but there's a lot of things going on in my mind right now. Got to cover flag football, so what else could you ask for? A fun-filled weekend of some
really
athletes, too.
It really was.
Athletes.
Some great big-time plays being made out there. There's some guys who are really talented playing that flag football. And we got a chance to do some stuff on the fly. These are guys we had absolutely no idea who they were, where they were coming from. There were girls playing. There were different rules, different types of ways to play. And it was good. It was a fun experience. We're going to be doing it again September 25th when we head down to Orlando.
Yeah.
To cover another flag football event because we're getting miles right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's exactly official, but we're working our way there. That is the next thing on deck. So if it does happen, it does happen, and that's just the way it's going to go.
Michelle Zimmer Boyarski, she knows the deal. Portillo's, if you're trying to eat a sandwich, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
It's almost worth driving all the way to Chicago for it. It's really good, and trust me, a guy like me, I'm not going to prove you wrong on a sandwich.
You know that's right. Had a little too much spice for me, but that is what it is. That is what it is. But I guess we're going to go into it, right? He's waiting backstage, quote unquote.
Yeah, speaking of spicy, we had a spicy outing for Grant Hitchcock when he goes out there and gets not 4, not 5, but 6 touchdowns. Their mic isn't connected.
Yeah, I think he hit the mute button, but you're good. We'll fix it.
6 touchdowns, including 4 on the ground, 1 in the air, and a 73-yard touchdown return on a punt. That is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, second-time winner, Grant Hitchcock of the Jefferson Falcons.
There he is. Can you hear us, Grant?
I'm not sure he can hear us.
Is he still?
Yeah, it doesn't. No, he's not still. He just can't hear us.
Can you not hear us, Grant?
Maybe take him in and out. Gotta love. Can you hear us now? We're going to find out.
Grant, can you hear us? Well, with that, let me go back over here. I don't know. We just had him.
Yeah, he's there.
He's there. Can you hear us, Grant?
Can you hear us?
I think he's waiting for it,
Yeah.
but he's muted, but I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think he can hear us. Maybe
Hold
take him
on.
in and out.
Yeah, give me 1 second, guys.
Yeah, just 1 second here. Live television, folks.
Yep.
Live television. If it can happen, it will happen. That's what happens.
Let's see where it goes.
But Grant Hitchcock, he's on his way in. Again, I knew he was gonna get one of these because he is truly just a.
Grant, can you hear us?
He can't. Actually, he's there. He just can't hear us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we're not in there, so he's not gonna be able to hear us until we're in there.
Can you hear us, Grant?
Yeah, you can hear us.
All right.
We can't hear you.
You're muted, buddy.
Unmute your mic. There we are.
Let's see.
Okay.
He's unmuted, but I can't hear him at all.
Yeah. It's whatever you turned off over there.
I didn't turn anything on.
Yep.
What about now? Can you hear? Say something, Grant.
Yeah.
It's going through there this time. Hold on 1 second.
It's been that way all night. Whatever you turn down. Yeah. Huh? Sorry, folks. This is Hello? It's echoing, but not. Can you hear us now, Grant?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can hear him now, so.
We got to fix.
Yeah, you guys might hear some echo here, but anyway. Grant, we're going to talk to you about that big-time game against rival Edgewood Warriors. Just over 200 yards rushing from what we got. We're still trying to figure that out for sure. With 4 touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown. And then you, to put the cherry on top, 73-yard punt return in one of the fastest times I've ever seen you move in my life. And you're a track runner. Yeah, whatever you turned off, you can't hear him.
All right, hold on 1 second,
So,
Grant.
That
is. Now we can hear you, can't we?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yes. I'm sorry, Grant. I don't know what I'm doing, obviously.
All right, Grant. So I just want to talk to you about. I'm going to start with that punt return. We talked a little bit about it before the show started. When you hit the 50-yard line, so you had already cleared it pretty well, and I got to give you credit, man. You are one of the most talented option quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. You have a way you're like a and one street football player. Like you get these linebackers to make big time mistakes, but you open up a hole, get down the field, you hit the 50-yard line, and it looked like you turned the Jets on. What was going on there?
I just knew I had to hit the corner to get around everybody, so that was kind of my goal, to get to the edge and then take off.
Yeah, now when you took off, you got to the 50-yard line, nobody within 30 yards of you, and you decided you were going to go a lot faster. And you seemed to have some jet power. Were you trying to show off some of that speed for some of the people who maybe think that you don't have the foot speed that you really do?
Yeah, a little bit. Some people might not see it because I'm at quarterback all the time, but that definitely is something.
Oh, we see it, buddy. I see it. I do. Yeah, you are lightning quick, and the one thing I do. He had the punt return as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean that's what we were talking about. Is that 73-yard punt
Sorry.
return where he just gets absolutely, or no, the punt return is a whole different story.
Yeah.
And then after you run that 95-yard touchdown run, you get a 73-yarder to on a punt that I'm sure nobody's going to be kicking to you anymore because you got the corner and got really busy. But coming into your senior year, last year you really asserted yourself in the passing game, and this year you are able to pass, but you guys have really gone run heavy this early in the season. One of the things Coach Hanna prides your guys' ability, and by your guys I mean you the players, is your ability to adapt. But are you looking forward to passing the ball more as you guys get into this NE8 schedule?
Yeah, definitely. Pass is something we've worked on all summer. We're going to 7-on-7s, stuff like that. So I wouldn't say we're not looking to pass, but obviously we're gonna run to open up the pass, and that's like one of the things about our offense that's so great. We can beat you with both ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, and when one of the things, sophomore year you had a little bit of trouble with the pass. I think you're a Hitchcock, so you're an athlete. That's just what that comes the way that goes. But you definitely improved into your junior year, and I can't wait to see it as a senior. But why don't you talk a little bit about some of the guys you're going to be throwing the ball to, because you guys have been able to add some big time athletes over there in Jefferson.
Yeah, definitely. Cage and Trent are super athletic, and Wade, we got him. He's a good guy that can seal someone off over the middle. If you need a secured catch, he's good for that. But then Cage and Trent, very athletic, fast, and they're just guys I can definitely rely on when I'm throwing the ball.
Yeah, talking about Wade Woodworth just really quickly, Cage and Trent, I think their speed is established, but I think Wade showed a little bit of speed out there too. You guys all collectively seem to have gotten a lot faster this year. Is that something you guys all focused on together? Because that's another thing. You guys are all thick as thieves. If you see one Falcon, you see the whole crew. Is that something you guys just took serious this year as listen, going into this year, last year on the NE8, it's time to leave our number?
Yeah, definitely last year in the NE8, we thought we've always said we want to go out with a bang, so that's our plan. But over summer, most of us on the football team are on track and field, and then just putting in work over the summer, getting agility in and speed training was definitely a big part of this last summer.
So I'm going to ask a question. You don't necessarily have to answer it because I don't want to bus roll you on purpose here. All right. The simple question is: so you play both sides of the ball, right? And
Yeah.
Again, you don't have to answer it. Which one do you prefer?
Offense.
That's my guy.
Listen,
That's my
hold
guy.
on. He says it, but I feel like he may be saying it for a reason. This is the opinion that I have. No, I'm just messing with you.
I
But
definitely like defense too, but
yeah. I mean, you're a hawk out there when you're playing defense. It's fun to watch you. You fly around whether it's offense or defense. You're just a fun kid to watch overall. And especially last Friday night, the show that you put on, man, that was amazing. Was it, I think 202, right?
That's what we're going with.
Yeah,
202
on the yards and 6 tutties, 5 tutties.
We got 6 total bucks.
Yeah, 6 total bugs for the man, the myth, the legend out in Jefferson, man. And I have to say it says front runner right now for Player of the Year. I can't help it.
Boy, it's going to be an uphill battle
man.
to get it away from this guy.
Yeah.
He is, I'm telling you, one of the best players. And I've said this on air before. If there's a better option quarterback, and that's not taken away from your arm because your arm is impressive as well. But if there's a better option quarterback out there, listen, you better show me. Because Grant Hitchcock is the guy. Grant, one of the things before we get off, you are a multi-sport athlete and a successful multi-sport athlete at that. How important do you think that is for these upcoming? As a senior, guys are going to start looking at you. There's probably a 7th or an 8th grader or even a freshman that's looking up like, man, that's who I'm trying to get to be. I'm trying to get that Hitchcock status. How important is it for you or for athletes in general to play year round?
Very important, I'd say, because I started with basketball. That was my main sport when I was little, and then going into football as I got older. But definitely that helped, as in lateral movement and stuff like that, especially with my hips. That definitely translates to football. And track obviously helped develop speed. I didn't really know how to run until I got I knew how to run, but
yeah, no, I laugh because it's true. You got to learn how to run. Everybody can run, but you got to learn how to run.
Yeah, our track coach, we have a good track coach, so he definitely helped with my form, and those are definitely important to being successful in your main sport.
Yeah, and it really shows. Like I said, your speed has never been on question, but man, it is. Every year there's one of you Falcons show some speed that I didn't know you had. Last year it was Trent. You had an 11th gear somehow this year on that turn. Ryan, now yep. Ryan, you had a ton of yards last year or on Friday. Ryan usually has a question he likes to ask about that.
Listen, I may or not appreciate O-linemen more than Sammy, but that is what it is. I'm not leading. I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make him. I guess for this fact, lead the Falcon to the nest, but I can't make the Falcon hang out there. But 202, 6 tutties. Man, who you thanking for all that fun stuff you guys did last Friday night?
First off, I'm definitely thanking the O-line because obviously without the
My
big
man.
boys, can't get that done. And then second, I definitely want to thank the receivers. Our receivers actually do a great job blocking. Trent, want to shout out to him because he actually gets a lot of pancakes from receivers. So
Good to know.
People
Good to
might
know.
not
I'll
know
keep
that.
an eye on that. Hopefully next week
Yeah.
we have the hog log, and I mean maybe Trent makes a hog log. You never know.
Man, if Trent Hodge makes the hog log next week, I'm wearing his jersey. I know that.
He had at least 2 last game.
Did he? I'll check it out. I will check that out.
Yeah, you guys, listen, it's fun watching you guys because you guys go out there and it is business walking in there. If you guys see your guys' face walking into the game, you guys are all business. You guys have been all business. One of the things I think that you have going for you is you've been on both sides of the coin here. You've been the big dog. You've been the guy that nobody's paying attention to as a Jefferson Falcon. I think this year you guys are really changing that aura, and it's because of the hard work, guys like you have taken and made this team much better. But this week is about you, Grant. Week 3 Player of the Week, Grant Hitchcock with 6 Tutty Rockets out there, taking the Hoadley Cup home. Keeping it home. Grant, the last question we'll ask you, what is the T-shirt size this year as you're getting your second one?
Large, sir.
Large. There it is. We go from medium to large. I love it. Grant,
Yep.
Good luck this week as you go out and show the Girard Indians what the Falcons offense is all about. We won't be there, but we will be watching closely as we do every week. Go Falcons.
Yeah, go knock another one. Go knock another one down, man. Beat up that NE8. Let's go. All right, boss. Thanks again.
Got it.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you, guys.
Yeah, man, that is. I'll tell you what, Grant Hitchcock. We have a good time with him. He's a guy that we've actually got to watch develop, and that's one of my favorite things about doing this show is you get to see some guys that. He's a phenomenal athlete, and I jokingly said, you're a Hitchcock, you're an athlete. If you're from Jefferson, the Hitchcocks, if they're on your team, you got a good shot at winning. He's got his brother Lucas, who was an absolute dog too, but he's got shoes that, he didn't have to fill. Grant created his own shoes at Jefferson.
Yeah.
1,000 in the air, 1,000 on the ground for him. He comes out this year and has 2 Mondo games to start. Gets tested against Harvey and really has a show against Edgewood, and that's not an easy game. That's a rivalry game. It doesn't matter what the records are in a rivalry game. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit. Edgewood and Jefferson, that's a little bit of a tight game going into about the second quarter, but then no other way to put it, but Jefferson broke loose. I do believe it was about 40-14, somewhere in there going into halftime, and then they put up another. Well, I mean, Grant put up another 3 tutties at some point in time. Yeah,
he's a cheat code, man.
Yeah, he really
He's a cheat code.
He just, the speed that young man has, and that's a weapon in the backfield that Girard better pay attention to. I guarantee it, Grant, if you're still watching, man, Girard's got you circled.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
And obviously not just because you're the quarterback there, but you are such a unique talent out there for Falcon territory, and it's going to be fun to watch. And I'm really excited. I told that to Coach Hanna at the beginning of the year when we seen him at a 7-on-7. I said I can't wait to see what your boys do this year, and they are 3-0, hoping to go 4-0 next week.
I'm telling you, the one thing he does that I'm not a quarterback, never been a quarterback, but the one thing I watch him do when they run that option, they run that run quarterback run
RPO.
pass option.
Yep.
Yeah, that RPO is. I'm telling you, he will hold that ball until the absolute last minute, and he makes that defensive end has to make an executive decision. And whatever decision he makes is the one that Grant Hitchcock takes advantage of. Because if you spend too much time watching him, they got Luke Funtash. And Luke Funtash, if you don't pay attention to him, before you know it, boom, he's got 89 yards on you in the first quarter.
Yeah, overall, that Falcons team is fast. It's one of the fastest in the county, if not the fastest in the county. But they move, man. They move. They know how to get downfield, and they know how to put pressure burst pipes, and they do a great job because they run a hurry-up offense too. They're always cooking.
They are
cooking
tempo
in the kitchen.
They run tempo. They can slow it down. They run some tempo. One of the things I won't say criticize Jefferson about, but one of my biggest questions for the Jefferson Falcons was always their offensive line. Are they going to have guys that are going to be able to give them the push? And with guys like Reed Edgar and Mason Pulowski, they've got those guys.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, Coach Hanna, and I know that, I might seem slanted because he's a good friend of mine and we went to high school together, but I'm telling you, you give that man athletes, he's going to give you W's. So watch out, world, because the Jefferson Falcons are for real.
Yes, absolutely are. Well, what are we moving into next? And again, sorry everybody for the mic issue. Not sure exactly what happened, but we're going to roll right on into volleyball. Hopefully I have that right. We're going to find out here momentarily. I got the image right, Sam. How nice.
All right, coming up to what is really becoming one of my favorite parts of the show. It is the Ashtabula County Volleyball Recap. Once again, as always. Wait till that goes away.
There you go.
All right. No, you hit the wrong one. That's all right.
Yep, I sure did. Give me 1 second. Let me rewind that just a touch. That was on
there we go.
one.
Are you going to put us on screen or no? All right.
Yep, I'll fix that.
Yeah, there it goes again.
Now you're confusing me.
I'm confusing you. Boy, it's been a night, hasn't it?
Yeah, it sounds about right, doesn't it? Let's see. I'll get us on the screen.
You got to hit pause.
Yeah,
now.
I know. I'm realizing that now. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to the
it's
train
been a
wreck.
night. Listen.
The train wreck known as 440 on goal this evening.
All right, we're going to start off with the Pymatuning Valley Lakers. Before we start off, I just want to send a big shout-out to Coach Tracy Mead over at Lakeside. She helps us out with these stats every single week. She provides them to us in this nice little in a very nice, tidy grouping, which makes it easy for us to report these. So we're going to start off with the PV Lakers, who are going to finish 0-3 this week. Tough week for the Lakers, taking losses to the St. John Heralds, Bloomfield, and Fairport Harbor. Now, their stat leaders this week, May Struna going to have 17 kills. May Struna also getting 5 aces. Autumn Newkirk with 8 blocks. Mandy Herman, 78 digs. And Mia Hall with 31 assists.
All right, rolling right into the next one here.
Pause.
Thank you, Sam, because I am going to hit stop again and start that whole thing over. The Lakeside Dragons going 3-0 this week. I'm sorry. A record of 3-0, 2-0 this week, defeating Geneva and Brush. Chris Jelly Rodriguez with 38 kills. Haley, that was close. Sorry about that. Haley Chase with 18 aces. Alyssa Shetler with 2 blocks. Chris Jelly Rodriguez with 33 digs. Andy Mikovsky with 33 assists. I'm very surprised I got that last name right.
You got it, but listen.
It sounded right.
Chris Jelly Rodriguez is one we're keeping our eyes on. She is a player.
Yep, she is. All right. Rolling, Sam. Here we go.
All right, going to move on from there. We're going to go right over to the St. John Heralds, who with a record of 3-1 are 2-0 this week, defeating both Pymatuning Valley and Maplewood. Now, their stat leaders, Gianna Decato with 14 kills. Lizzie Ducro going to get 7 aces this week. Gianna Decato with 4 blocks. Harley Schellenberger going to have 17 digs this week. And Lizzie Ducro with 31 assists. Way to go, Lady Heralds.
All right, moving right on into the Edgewood Warriors, who are 3-2 on the year. This week they finished 1-1, defeating Harvey. And they took a loss to Jefferson. Sarah Coxon with 13 kills. Isabella Stern and McKenna Rhodes with 5 aces apiece. Let me shrink this so I can read that the right way. Sorry about that. Sarah Cox and Leah Guyton with 1 block each. McKenna Venzel with 23 digs. And Sophia Palilio, thank you, Sam, for that just save. Just a pure save right there. Coming in like a closer. 25 assists for Palilio over there for the Warriors.
Listen, you know how the song goes, that's what friends are for.
Oh, at least we have a way to make it fun tonight.
All right, moving right along to the Geneva Eagles, who are posting a record right now of 3-4. Last week going 1-1, defeating Conneaut and taking a loss to the Lakeside Dragons in a hotly contested game. That was one that people were watching from the beginning of the year. Your stat leaders this week, Sydney Park with 15 kills. Brooke Richmond and Sydney Park both 6 aces apiece. When it came to the blocks, Brooke Richmond and Sydney Park also in there. 4 each. Alex Nugent, she's going to get 19 digs. And Brooke Richmond with 24 assists for the Geneva Eagles.
All right, rolling in the Jefferson Falcons, 5-1 on the year. They went 3-0 this week, defeating Edgewood, South Range, and McKinley. Chloe Help me out, Sam.
O'Rourke
with 31 kills. Remington Ryan, good name. And Chloe O'Rourke with 9 aces. Abby Cotton with 5 blocks. Chloe O'Rourke, that's a name that's starting to stand out for me, and I probably won't mispronounce it next week. 35 digs. And Helena Edgar with, is that right? 81? Yeah. 81 assists. Getting busy out in Jefferson.
And Chloe O'Rourke is one you're never probably going to have to learn again because she's going to be on here week after week after week. She is a phenomenal volleyball player for those Jefferson Falcons.
All right, I think we got 2 or 3 left. I don't know. We'll find out.
We got to start. We got to talk about the Conneaut Spartans. They are going to go 1-1 with defeating Girard, Pennsylvania, and taking a loss to Geneva. Unfortunately, no stats available on the Conneaut Spartans this week, but they do have an overall record of 3-2.
Nicely played there. You got the easy one. Not fair. All right, Grand Valley Mustangs 1-5 on the season. They did finish 0-2 this week, taking losses to Kirtland and Berkshire. Michaela Hopes with 6 kills. Caitlin Hart and Maggie McGovern with 4 aces apiece. Caitlin Bauman, 1 block. Abby Collins with 15 digs. And Riley Ellsworth with 12 assists.
Way to go, Grand Valley Mustangs. 1-5, but getting it together here at the end of the season for them. Man, it's. I'll tell you what, we're going to try and get some volleyball here. We've had a lot of movement here on 440 and goal over the past, 2 weeks. So it's something we're still working. We will definitely work to get a volleyball game here soon. Keep your eyes peeled because we're going to do our best to grab some of those. But before we've got a lot of games to talk about and we've got a lot of stuff to go through. But before we do that, we're going to go to a quick break.
Before the break, though, I'm gonna hit them with the touchdown reel.
Yeah. So let's go.
Tutty reel.
Touchdown reel followed by a break, and we'll be back to talk about where those touchdowns came from.
Yep, touchdown reel's a little long this week. So check it out. Have fun. See you soon.
440 and Goal welcomes in-combine sponsor from Allstate Kristen Dobbins-Beck-Barger. Kristen and her team offer auto, home, renters, and various other insurance policies. Visit Kristen at 4605 Main Avenue in beautiful Ashtabula, Ohio, or contact Kristen at 440-993-0256.
440 and Goal welcomes in Play All Awards and Engraving. Awards, they do them all at Play All. Play All offers a full line of acrylics, desk accessories, plaques, sports awards, and more. A staple of Ashtabula County, Play All has been in service since 1993, helping the likes of educators, coaches, and individuals just like you. You can visit Play All at 4542 Main Avenue in beautiful downtown Ashtabula, Ohio, or call them at 440-992-7529 with any questions. 440 and Gold brings in Made in Ohio. Made in Ohio specializes in screen printing, dye sublimation, embroidery, and vinyl graphics. Their prices are the lowest in the area. They have no minimum order size, no setup charges, and no screen charges. Stop in and see for yourself. Made in Ohio is located in the beautiful, historic Ashtabula Harbor. Visit them at 1028 Bridge Street or call 440-992-9057.
All right, guys, welcome back. Sorry, Sam, I'm taking that from you. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys missed it, we just got done interviewing Grant Hitchcock over there at Jefferson. You can hit the rewind on your, I think, Facebook and YouTube for that matter. But
doubling up on you again this week.
You can hit that rewind button. You just got to check out the touchdown reel. Another way, if you didn't get to see it, hit that rewind button. But coming up on deck here, we are going to go over stats.
Yes, sir.
Week 3 review, and then week 4 games, and then finish it off with some fantasy and a little chat about our trip to Chicago that we just had. So
we are not going to draft our fantasy players on the show today in the interest of time. We are going to draft them privately and release that list to let you know who's on whose team. But unfortunately this week, just not going to have time for the draft on here, but we will review the results.
I will warn you, Sam, I have no idea. Sorry, wrong button there, as always. Let me go back here. We're looking for stats. I know it's here. Give me 1 second. I need to go to the bottom. Nope, stat reel. There it is. Hold on.
All right, so we're going to start off this week's stat reel with the tackle leaders because we didn't talk about defense last week. At the top of the heap is going to be Edgewood Warriors Seth Enos with 34 tackles. Now, before we go down the rest of the list, just going to give you a quick breakdown of how tackles are determined.
Break it down.
On 440 and Goal. Each solo tackle counts as 1 point. Each assisted tackle is going to count as 0.5. You're going to get 1 point for every sack. You're going to get 1 point for every tackle for loss. That's going to be on top of whatever your score is. So with all that in there, and it takes long to explain. It takes longer to do those stats. But Seth Enos going to be 34 tackles. Jefferson's Wade Woodworth is going to have 33.5 right behind him. Edgewood, another Warrior right there with Zeke Lucas and 32 tackles. Big Willie style. Will Anderson over at St. John, 27 tackles, tied with Lakeside's Caleb Stitt, who has made a name for himself this week on quite a few different lists.
All right, moving into the next one. Hopefully it works well. So we're going to go to more defense, a little TFL action here. It's always fun to go through this. Me and Sam got a little confused earlier putting this together, but here we are nonetheless. So Edgewood High School, Zeke Lucas leading, well, I guess I should say it's a three-way tie up top there. Zeke Lucas with 7. Caleb Stitt, another name you just brought out there for Lakeside High School at 7. Conneaut High School's Bryce Sperlin with 7. Edgewood High School's Seth Enos with 6. Brady Bogdan with 5.5 for Grand Valley, and Braden Hart. I was going to spit it out. Just give me a minute. Just relax. With 5.5 as well.
It's
a night, buddy.
That's your TFL leaders.
It's a night. Going into sacks. Hit it, Sam.
All right, so the top of the top is going to be Conneaut Spartan Bryce Sperlin with 3. Right behind him is going to be Jaden Anderson, also of the Conneaut Spartans, with 2. Sean Croston, he's got 2 over at PV. Luke Funtach at Jefferson, he's got 2. And count that, 14 players in the county right now with at least one quarterback sack.
Getting busy all the way through Ashtabula County. Moving on, maybe. There it is. We're going to go into some rushing yards.
There it is, baby.
And leading the way by a solid well over 100 yards, it's going to be Jay Sean, the bowling ball Sanders, with 83 carries, 491 yards, 6 tutties for him. Right behind him, though, is going to be Zach Rice with 52 carries, 353 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. Grant Hitchcock, who we just had on the show, 27 carries, 314 yards. And, yes, that's a quarterback.
That's my quarterback, dog.
With 7 touchdowns. Ryan Croston, 53 carries, 295, 3 tutties. Let me move her. Wrong one to move up so I can get the tutties here. Move us up here a little bit. Luke Funtash out in Jefferson, 43 carries, 284, and 3 tutties. And Geneva's Luke Smith, 36, 264, and 5 tutties for that young man out there.
I'll tell you what, it's impressive. With Luke Smith in particular, it's impressive because a lot of guys touch the football over there at Geneva.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys who are touching the football, so once you start getting up there and you're putting up big yards like that, you know he is super effective when it comes to running the ball in that Eagles wing T offense that we're going to get to see tomorrow.
I've never heard about that.
No? I'll talk to you about a little bit about it after.
Take it away, Sam.
All right, Robert Rogers. This is going to be the receivers right now. So Grand Valley's Robert Rogers, 15 receptions with 243 yards, 5 Tud Rockets over there for that Grand Valley Mustang.
Where did you get Tud Rockets from?
Listen, it just came to me.
Yeah. Come on.
Jefferson, the best hands I've ever seen. In Trent Hodge, 8 receptions, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns. Going over, we got some St. John Heralds on this list this year. Matt Miller with 11 receptions, 199 yards, 1 touchdown for him. Cage Bozar, NASCAR is what we call him because he's extra fast. 6 receptions, 171 yards with 5 touchdowns. Look at that, 6 receptions, 5 touchdowns. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then Big Willie Styles all in it, getting jiggy with it. Will Anderson, 10 receptions, 168 yards, 2 Tud Rockets for those Heralds. Moving on over, I think we're talking passers now.
Yeah, I do have to say real quick, these top 5, all of them are averaging well over 15 yards per catch.
Yes, good luck.
I got it. I mean, my math, I'm going out on a limb here. The way the night's gone, I'm probably dead wrong with that. But just quick math suggests that well over 15 yards per catch, and a couple of these guys, you're talking close to 20, 25 yards a catch.
A couple of these guys, you better get some double coverage on them or it's going to be a long night.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Before you start this one, I got to put a stat error on here that I did get caught earlier.
Then you take this one away, and I'll do the next one.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is the passing leaders for Ashtabula County right now, and it's none other than Grant Hitchcock at the top, 22 completions on 31 attempts, 445 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's ridiculous. We're only 3 games into it. Vin Narducci of St. John, 30 for 68, 441 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Now, he had a turnover issue in the beginning of the year, so he's going to be, fighting that, but he is on the right side of it as we stand right now. Tony Hall, this is the one that has to be stat corrected. 35 for 74, 346 yards. He is 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Actually, before today and the stat update that I got, compliments of Coach Elijah Juan Cooper.
No.
He reached out and said, "Hey, baby brother, those are not correct." So he gives me the update. It is actually 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Going on to Nate Boyarski over at Grand Valley, 21 for 44, 341 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And Conneaut, we like to run Spartans, have Max Gleason out there, 20 for 30, 273 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
All right, moving in there. Hey, it's good to see St. John up there on the board like that, too. Quickly going into the season, we thought it would be a little bit run heavy, but they proving us wrong. Right, coming and blindsiding us. I mean, he's 4 yards away from being the passing leader in the county.
All the good coaches in this area say the same thing when you ask them what type of offense are they going to run, and it's whatever the defense is going to give us.
Right.
So I mean, even if you look over at Giant Eagle,
Yeah.
even if you look over at Geneva, Geneva goes out there. They're a wing T, but if you're going to load the box and make them do it, they can pass the ball too. Because Kenny Young has got a rocket.
Yep. All right, moving into some INT action here. Angelo Collazo with
Yes,
4
sir.
hot ones, and I think 1 or 2 was house calls, weren't they? I'm not sure, but I think I'll have to get quoted on that. But nonetheless, but for the Lakeside Dragons, Angelo Collazo with 4 of them. Hunter Brott, Edgewood Warriors with 2. And Sammy's cousin, Will Torres, is it Mook? Mook with 2 over in Geneva. 10 players with 1. So a lot of turnovers going on in Ashtabula County.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you better think twice when you throw it on Angelo Collazo because I'm telling you, he gets the ball, he gets busy. Angelo Collazo is a senior on this Lakeside Dragons team, and if you talk to Coach Buzz Edwards, this guy's the heart of the defense. This is who they're looking to. This is their leader. This guy makes tackles. He causes turnovers. He is a hard-working, and he's hard-nosed. You look at him, thinner build, and will knock your block off.
Yes, he will.
So, keep your eyes on Angelo Collazo, and congratulations on 4 interceptions in 3 games, buddy.
Yep, getting busy. And let's see, going into tackles, Sam. We already did tackles, so that means
that's all she wrote, folks.
We are done. I think we're moving into now here momentarily. What do you got wrote down?
Yeah, so next we're going to move into the results.
This is Sammy's agenda, and there's arrows pointing left to right, up
that's
and
how
down.
It goes.
And I don't know what that means, so that's why I awkwardly keep looking down. So we're going into week 3 results.
Yeah, so week 3, a lot of great games played last week. Obviously, we were at the Edgewood Jefferson game. A ton of this is going to be available right there on ysnlive.com last week. Ashtabula really going out, not only being on YSN Live, but showing well on YSN Live as Ashtabula goes down into that Youngstown area and gets the job done.
Yeah, I was going to say Edgewood, Conneaut, Geneva, St. John, all available on ysnlive.com.
That's right.
Just
that's
putting
right.
it out there. Go ahead.
So we're going to start off with the game we covered, and that's the Edgewood Warriors versus the Jefferson Falcons. The Hoadley Cup is going to remain in Jefferson this year as the Jefferson Falcons 56-14 over the Edgewood Warriors. Jefferson Falcons move on to 3-0 as the Edgewood Warriors fall down to 2-1 before they head on this week to Orange.
That is correct. Lakeside going out and just smacking Eastlake North. Big shout out, man. I got to watch a little bit of offensive line play out there. Me and Sam talked about it a little bit. Sam laughed at me as usual, but I love watching that offensive line and the push that those guys, that front 5 have there for Jay Sean. Man,
they're vicious.
Be thankful.
They're
be
vicious.
thankful, buddy, because all them almost 500 yards this year so far, over 100 a game. It sounds like well over 100 a game now that I'm thinking about it. A large part to do to Lakeside, and that O-line. But Lakeside does smack Eastlake North 26 in the goose egg for that defense out there.
All right, moving on. Conneaut 38, Columbiana 14. Conneaut makes the drive all the way down to Columbiana to take on the Clippers. They're going to move their record up to 2-1 over the Columbiana Clippers, who are now 0-3. Conneaut going down there and getting it done.
PV losing to Grand Valley, so the PV does go 0-3 on the year. Grand Valley does capture their first win, 27-6. Tough one for PV, but it was a nice one probably for Grand Valley to get that first win under their belt.
Not only that they actually play for a rivalry trophy there as well. It's called the Valley Trophy. So the Valley Trophy going back to Grand Valley after a pretty long stint over in Andover.
Yep.
So moving on from there, the Geneva Eagles go on to take on the Springfield Tigers. Now, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to look at this record 0-3 and say not a big deal as the Eagles are going to come out on top, 27-6. Springfield is going to be in the playoffs this year. Springfield's probably going to host. That's a Division 7 team with 62 players on it. 62 players. Geneva goes down there. There's some big size. Geneva's offensive line ain't afraid of nobody. They want all the smoke you can offer.
Yeah, fun to watch them on the film too. 27-6, like you said, but that O-line, it's really fun to watch that push. If you get a chance, ysnlive.com, you can download it over there and check it out. But following that one up, the St. John Heralds, which I did find one more error, but you probably made this before we found out. St. John 1-2, they are actually.
Yeah, we weren't sure on that
yes,
yet.
Right. So St. John actually is 2-1 due to a forfeit. We're not exactly sure.
Akron Springfield unfortunately plays an ineligible player in that game. So because of that, St. John going to get that win. With that win, that bumps St. John all the way up to 11th in Division 7.
And then they get their also second win of the year against Sebring McKinley, and they go out there, and St. John was running up and down the field, having fun. And that passing game showed some serious signs of life from the replays that I got to watch.
Listen, man, Vin Narducci, my cousin Vinny, gets it done out there.
Cousin Vinny coming out hot.
Hey,
just
I'm telling you,
it.
Vin was the pin, getting it done. I'm telling you, it was great. It was awesome to watch them go out there and get a win that they worked so hard for. This is a young team. I have to think of the young guys on that team, the sophomores and the freshmen. The seniors, though. The seniors, this is what they don't want to go out there and go winless. Not this year, baby. They got a W and 2 to start the year. 2-1 at the hardest part of their schedule. This week, they're going to be right here on 440 and goal taking on Wyndham. And then next week, they've got PV.
Yep. And just a couple notes that we're going to start adding in here, hopefully starting tomorrow during the live stream. But Jefferson is ranked number 1 in their region. I do believe it's Division 5, Region 13. So, yes, your local Ashtabula County Jefferson Falcons are ranked number 1. Lakeside, yes, going into Lakeside.
Lakeside's number 4, but Jefferson's number Division 4. That's my bad.
It's all right. Yeah, no. Either way, in their division, in their region, they are number 1. That's what I was going after.
Yeah, Lakeside number 4 behind Hudson, who they went against last year. Yeah. But Lakeside's only going up. I'm telling you that. Those teams, Eastlake North and Brush, those guys are going to start collecting some W's. So look for that. This game this week, and we may as well jump right into it.
Yeah, week 4 games?
Yeah, these week 4 games this week. Look for these to be some absolute bashes.
Barn
and I just realized
burners.
as I'm looking at this, I was looking at this earlier and couldn't figure out why it didn't match or why that didn't look right. It's because Edgewood's not on here. So Edgewood will actually be hosting Orange this week. Orange 0-3, Edgewood 2-1. So there's that one. We're going to talk about that Lakeside Geneva game last.
Yeah, I can go with that. So another huge game. So this is a 1 and 2 matchup.
This is 1 versus 2 in Region 13, folks.
Yes, it is. Jefferson 3-0, Grand Valley Grand Valley. Girard, the G got me. Girard 3-0. This is going to be a really good game to watch. It's going to be live on ysnlive.com. Our buddy Pat's going to be covering that one, calling that game and doing some camera work out there. But this will be, I'm going to call it the Battle of the Titans right now, because I think this is really going to dictate a lot of what happens out in the south part of the county.
This is going to determine, this Jefferson-Girard game is going to determine who is the new threat in the NE8. That NE8 is a conference that is available for the taking. All right, the middle of those guys, they beat each other up. So whoever wins this game, I'm telling you, mark it down right here. Whoever wins this game and comes out 4-0 will be hosting a playoff game when it comes to Week 11.
I'll co-sign with you on that one, man. I can't wait to watch that. And we are going to have a little picture-in-picture action for that one when we cover the Lakeside Geneva game.
We will be watching it, baby.
I think, am I up? Well, I'll go.
You
whatever.
Go ahead.
Coming up next after that's going to be Conneaut taking on Corey. Honestly, I don't know a lot about Corey, but I do know that Zach Rice, and they're in a way, it's an out-of-county team. Zach Rice is going to just dice and slice and get his tutties going there to bring Conneaut to 3-1, in my opinion.
Listen, Zach Rice is phenomenal, and he's a great running back. There's a guy that's standing out to me this year, and it's not just Max Gleason. Wyatt Payne, man.
Yep.
Wyatt Payne is for real, guys. Mm-hmm. If you don't know Wyatt Payne and Conneaut, you better start paying attention. This kid's an athlete. He's got a nose for the football. He's a great spellback for Rice, but he is a threat on defense. This guy likes to lay hits, and he likes to keep that defense in the game. Watch out for Conneaut this week, looking to move to 3-1.
If I recall, he had a pick 6 on the last game as well.
Yeah, and he's fast. He's fast.
He's like a sleeper. You don't even know about him until it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's it. That's it. Moving on there, we're going to go to Pymatuning Valley. They are going to host Rootstown. Rootstown's 3-0, and Rootstown is tough.
Yeah,
now,
playoff team.
Pymatuning Valley right now, they are 0-3. If you want to talk about how do we get our season turned around, how do we get back into the playoff talks, this is it right here. Listen, Lakers, if you go out, this is a home game versus Rootstown. Send them packing. Make them mad that they showed up. Beat them down. You're back in the playoff talk again. You know, they got to go through some conference play, but Pymatuning Valley, the season is far from over.
Yep, and then following them is going to be Grand Valley taking on Berkshire, where I do think Grand Valley is going to come out, and Chef Boyarski and the Grasshopper out there is going to do their due diligence and go win another one and go 2-2 on the season. So it should be fun to hear about that game. Unfortunately, not covered just yet.
Hold on. Listen, I got Bobby Rogers going for no less than at least 497 wide receiving yards.
Who wins? Who wins? Nate Boyarski with one leg or Berkshire?
Hold on. What color are his shoelaces?
They got to be blue.
Chef.
Right.
All right. Moving on.
Here we go.
Going to go over to, and this is going to be another game that's going to be covered right here on 440 and Goal on www.ysnlive.com. And that is the St. John Heralds, who are now 2-1, going against the 0-2 Wyndham Bombers. And this is a game that goes back and forth every year. There are some years where St. John, knocks them out of the air, and there are some years where the Bombers lay bombs.
Yep.
This year, guess what? Call me a homer, call me what you want, but call it. I'm going Heralds big time here. They're going to get their W to move on to be 3-1 for the first time in a long time.
And St. John does play Wyndham twice this year as well as Fairport, and if they can get those wins, you're talking about potentially a 7-3 St. John team, 8-2 possibly.
Welcome to the conference,
right.
St. John.
I mean,
welcome to the conference,
possibly
baby.
taking a NAC title home.
A NAC title? Are you talking
Come
about
on.
a NAC title?
Well, St. John over there just putting it in.
And now we're talking about those.
First year in the NAC, they may be the title winner this year.
And listen, if you talk to Coach Sarah Howe over there for that volleyball program, she said, hey, Rock, get it ready up on the banner. We're taking that. And I love it. They're hyper competitive, but we can't go off this screen without talking about Lakeside versus Geneva.
I guess I wasn't picking up what you were putting down there for a moment.
Coming up this year, or coming up tomorrow, Lakeside versus Geneva. Your boys, the 440 and Goal crew, we're going to be there for the battle, Route 84, or as we have newly dubbed it, the War for 84.
Yep.
Last year, Lakeside able to take the trophy home. This year, Geneva going to host and try and give it a new home. This is going to be a game, and I'm going to tell you what. I know that Geneva takes a loss against Madison in week 1. I don't know how they lost that game because that ain't Geneva.
Nope.
Geneva is way better than they were that game. And Lakeside is 3-0 for the first time since I think George W. Bush was in office.
Yeah, it's going to – both of these teams have good fronts as far as offensive line, and it's going to be a running game. Geneva I'll say historically, but over the past 3 games, I think they've passed the ball 4 times. Lakeside knows what's coming after them, as does Geneva. Geneva knows that Jay Shaw, the bowling ball, is going to be trying to go catch him a strike, known as the touchdown end zone club down there, about 6 times. But it's really going to be a defensive battle to see who actually wins this out.
Yeah, this game is going to come down to offensive line play, which is crazy for me to say because that ain't where I pay attention, bro. But Lakeside's offensive line is ridiculous. I don't care what anybody says. They're big, they're strong, they're mean, they're aggressive. They open up highways for Jay Sean and Bartone and Stitt and DeSalvatore. Those guys are going to be able to make those guys are going to be able to make plays. And Cam Crockett might be the most underrated defender in the county.
Yep.
Cam Crockett gets it done out there.
I think was second on their list with 20 tackles this year, if I recall right. I'd have to relook at the stats, but he is real quick there. He's just tall and lengthy, and he gets after the ball. Nothing gets by him. He is like a safety net, playing safety back there, but nothing gets by him. He always finds a way to put a nose on the ball.
Yeah, and Jay Sean Sanders is a different level. He's a different level guy. He's a different level guy. Listen to me. He's a different level guy. Jay Sean Sanders has been able to do it as the lead in that offense, and he's the guy that they key on. If you're going against Lakeside, these are what the defense is based on, and week in, week out, he's able to get it done because he's a dog. He is a monster out there. So Lakeside's offense, and DeSalvatore has come out this year, and we worried about passing. We wondered what are they going to do, and he has shown himself to be a more than capable passer. The kid is about 6'13". I mean, he's a big guy. He can see the field well. When they do need him to pass, he passes well. Let's talk about Geneva.
Yeah, I mean, Geneva, like I said, historically run, but the question Lakeside's going to have is who's going to have the ball in their hand. I do believe they have, I want to say 7 rushers on the docket right now with rushing yards just in general. There is like a top 5 out there, but Kenny Young also is a very interesting factor for me. Very young, very smooth on the ground. He knows how to get outside the ball. But again, I'm going to go back to that O-line. Geneva pulls right guard, right tackle, left guard, left tackle. I even watched them on a design pass play. They're pulling a guard and a guard or a tackle just for protection for Young. They don't pass often, but when they do seem to be pretty effective. But it's really going to be Geneva ball, and Geneva's got to hold the ground and hold the game together with their offense, and then the defense has got to stuff Lakeside some way to keep Jay Sean from running downhill.
Yeah, I'm going to forget some names here, and I apologize ahead of time.
When
but
there's
on
9
that
of them
offensive,
running, there's 9 of them running.
I'm talking offensive line, believe it or not here.
Yeah.
Jason Thrower, Johnny Hazler, Matt Hoover. These guys get the job done for the Eagles. They pushed Struthers like Struthers was a JV team. And Struthers is like 250 pounds on the defensive line. Getting it done there. Those guys get it done. Luke Smith is underrated, has been underrated for years and years and years. Guys overlook him. And, guess what? It's Geneva. So guess who else they got in the backfield? It's a Pete. As soon as one graduates, they bring another one in. And Bryce Pete is no small guy.
Isn't there a younger one still, too?
Nope, I think he's the last one.
Is this the last
I
one?
think he's the last of the Mopetans.
Right. Give about another 10 years. They should be recycling.
But he's back there. He's playing fullback. He's got Jake Wilson out there who's getting big time yards. I mean, this Geneva offense is doing it again. And then you got Kenny Young.
Yeah.
You got Kenny Young.
I said he's the biggest one for me. He's so interesting just because of his footwork and his ability to get outside and make plays outside of the pocket.
That's the type. He is a prototypical. He's what you need for Geneva. They want a guy who, he's got a good arm. Kenny Young can throw the rock, but more so than anything, when he makes that big swoop around on that breakout, he is a threat to run. And when you've got guys out there like Luke Smith, Luke Barbeau, Matt Wilson, Bryce Pete.
It's a lot of them.
They're going to open up holes, and they're going to allow him to have a lane to run. And all Kenny Young needs is just a glimmer.
Yeah, that's it, and he'll go. And he strides like a gazelle. He gets downfield fast. But it's interesting for me because the bootleg is almost an RPO for them in a fashion because it's up to Kenny. If you've got someone open, throw it. If not, tuck it and run. Go, because that's what you're going to do anyways. I don't think Lakeside's faced that this year in any fashion versus any team. And that's, preparing for the wing tee is not like preparing for an air raid.
It's just
not. Geneva puts one wide receiver out and the 10 in the box. No, I should say 9 in the box, including the quarterback. But everyone, and you just don't know who's going to get the ball. So.
And it looks the same every time. Yep. He's carrying out his fake whether he's got the ball or not. That's why they are so successful. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be the biggest test of Lakeside's early young season right now. And I can't even say it's young because this is week 4. We're about at the midway point. But this is going to be their toughest check early on because Lakeside has an offensive line that is going to have defensive players in their face.
Yes. Bryce
Pete on defense is a problem. Gio Rice on defense is a problem.
Right.
Will Torres Mook with 2 interceptions. He's a problem. Luke Smith is making plays on the defensive side of the ball. This is one of the more I think this is probably the most talented team that Lakeside has seen coming up to this point.
I would agree. I totally agree with that. Right.
And the same can be said about Geneva as they head against a Lakeside team that, guess what? They figured out we are the Lakeside Dragons.
Question, Lakeside Struthers, who wins?
Lakeside.
Yeah.
I'm going Lakeside.
Go
Lakeside is tough.
One.
They went into East Lake North
I bring
and
that
got
up.
it done.
Right. I just bring that up in the simple fashion of, if Geneva got Struthers, Lakeside's going to get Struthers.
Lakeside should be able to beat Struthers too.
I think it's going to be a battle in the trenches. I really do. And for Geneva, it's going to be coming out doing the slow, methodical 5-6 minutes off the first quarter and getting their touchdown. That will be the kicker. They got to get the touchdowns because Lakeside's going to come out with a fast offense, and they're going to want to send the ball downfield on occasion, but they're going to want to run and run Jay-Sean a lot. But it's not going to be as slow and methodical as Geneva can be.
Let's talk just really quickly about last year's game. Last year's game looks like a blowout on paper.
Yeah.
It's not. If you look actually, after the first quarter, Geneva's up 7-0. After the second quarter, it's a one-score game. Some turnovers changed that up. Lakeside got hot. Lakeside, when they catch fire, they're the most dangerous team I've ever seen.
And it makes sense because Lakeside is historically slow in the first and second
They start
quarter.
off slower, but when they get it going, it's like a train.
Right.
It's like a train. It takes them a minute to get moving, but once they get going, there ain't nothing going on.
Yep.
Geneva, which is odd because you look at the type of offense they run and the type of game they play, they're not a slow starter. They come out right now.
Yep,
right now.
They're not a slow starter. They're just effective on the 18 plays that it takes to go from the 25-yard line down to the touchdown, and they always get it. They always find a way, and they're always seemingly on the 1-yard line trying to punch their ticket to the promised land.
They do. They keep their composure and they get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not doing anything tomorrow and you can't get to that stadium, you don't want to miss this. The War for 84 this year. This is a new trophy that we instituted, last year, trying to get this rivalry game going, and it's already meaningful to start it. You got two teams that whoever wins this game, they're trending up. Whoever loses this game is going to have to reevaluate where they're going.
Yep.
It's a tough road for Lakeside if they lose this. And Geneva at 2-2, it's a very tough road as Geneva sits in the hardest division in Ohio. The hardest region, the hardest division. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, when if we could break down the names that are in there, it's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow out there. So Geneva's got to come out big, come out fighting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, really, really looking forward for that. Once again, look out. We've got some more promotional material that's going to be coming out before tomorrow. Tomorrow, the second annual 440 and Goal War for 84.
All right, let's go into it. I think last but not least, right?
Last but not least, let's go on ahead and hit that fantasy number. I can't wait to see this.
I haven't seen it at all yet. I have no idea how bad I did. By the emotions on your face right now says it wasn't good for me.
Listen, I got one guy who got me 61 points.
Of course
that was a
you
good
did.
enough day.
Yeah. All right, going into it right there. Oh, what's the final? Oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
It wasn't. And I'll tell you what. I had some lower scores, but I had some big point scorers. You stayed, pretty good all along the way. I got to send a shout out to both Matt Wright and Bryce Pete. Geneva defense, man, scoring some defensive points this week. Zach Rice, he's a steady 33. Give me steady 30. Ryan Croston, 27 as a quarterback because all those rushing yards, man.
Yep.
Grant, 61. You'll have that. You'll have that.
6 tutties and 202 yards.
Yeah, Jay-Sean Sanders goes out there, gets some 32 hot points real quick and in a hurry. This week is going to be interesting. Now, like we said at the beginning of the show, we're not going to draft teams on the show right now. It's 10:15 already. That's probably going to be the end of our show. So we will draft the teams amongst each other, and we will release those names so you guys know who is where if you care.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it tomorrow before we go live. You never know.
Yeah, we'll get that out there, push it out there. But like I said, that's this week's fantasy, and 2 weeks in a row, your boy getting it done.
Yep, that's fine. I get it. But hey, listen, it ain't like 2 years ago when I got blown out every week. But again, if you guys are watching, you can only keep your player for 2 weeks straight, and then you got to cut them. You can only keep one player for 2 weeks straight, and you got to cut them after that. Everyone else has got to get changed out on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, unfortunately, Grant, I'm going to have to wait a couple weeks before I get you back, but don't worry. You're going to find your way back home.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it. It is now about 20 after 10. Sam, thanks for the entertainment tonight. It was a lot of fun. I am very excited. Tomorrow night, War for 84 live from beautiful
I can't wait.
Spire in downtown Geneva, Ohio.
Listen, one of my favorite things about covering Asheville County sports is watching these rivalries develop and watching them flourish. Tomorrow, the War for 84 is going to get a huge stamp. This ain't going to be an ESPN Classic, baby. This is a YSN Classic.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't miss a single down. And if you're not watching our game, then you had better be watching The Jefferson Falcons take on the Girard Indians as 1 and 2 in Region 4, number 13.
A lot of numbers there.
Yeah,
a lot of numbers.
Yeah,
there.
in Region 13, as 1 and 2 take on each other. That's sure to be a classic.
That's like The Price is Right. That's the showcase showdown.
It really is, man. It really is. It's going to decide who's going to take that NE8 and really be the guy.
It
so
is.
Here we go.
Is. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to let you go for the evening. Don't forget on Facebook, share and like the stream. YouTube, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Catch us tomorrow night, ysnlive.com. Just click the live stream link in the top left-hand corner, and we're going to bring you up a giant list, a nice big list of games, and you just got to find Lakeside versus Geneva or, what's that? Okay, gotcha. Lakeside versus Geneva or Jefferson versus Girard. And I don't know. I think that's all that's going to be on YSN tomorrow night.
Yeah, those are the only two, but we will have the polls out so
Yeah.
you can pick who's going to win what. Listen, folks, tomorrow.
Oh, and then Saturday. Saturday.
St. John versus Wyndham. We'll be there. It's a double dose of 4-4-0 and goal this weekend. That game is going to kick off at 6 o'clock live from the beautiful Spire, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Leaving you guys with a tutty reel. See you tomorrow.